my first YouTube video ever, aka a fucking disaster. I am here to tell you about the pros and cons of my experience at a BTS concert. Because let me tell you, before going, I watched a shit ton of YouTube videos and none of them prepared me for what I was about to face. Start with a positive because we're not trying to live that pessimist life, okay? The first one is literally just everything. Like, they're singing, they're dancing, they're rapping, everything was on point, and all your expectations will be met in that regard. So honestly, I feel like I don't even really have to explain that too much. My point is, they're freaking amazing at everything, and their voices sound so good. It's like they ate like 3 CDs and are just spewing it back out at you on stage, and you can tell that they are singing live because they make mistakes, and it's honestly so beautiful. They are auto-tuned, okay? And that's just it. Actually, I used to think that Big Hit was auto-tuning Jin big time because I did not know it was possible to sound the way he does, like super high pitch, like ow! Okay, but he actually sounds like that, and I was blown out of the water because he was one of the most stable members. Like, he barely had any like shaky voice or anything. Okay, one thing, see, I don't know if this would be a problem for other people, but this was a huge issue for me. Like, honestly, it was such a big problem for me. I still can't get over it. And that is the screaming. The screaming is out of this world. I never heard anything like that in my entire life. I didn't even know hearing something that loud was possible. I'm not sure if everyone else would react this way, but I literally cannot remember the performance of Idol, which was the first song that they performed. I cannot remember it. There's like a blank in my memory. It's like I almost blacked out because I was in shock from the sound. Like, all I remember is I felt so like overwhelmed and shocked. It's like I couldn't even form a single thought because the sound, the noise, all the screaming, it was such an intrusive level of noise. It was insane. You can tell from the beginning of this video. Like, I also screamed when BTS first came out onto stage, screaming as if I was being stabbed to death. And honestly, when I look back on it, like, I still laugh every time I see that footage. Like, I have never heard myself make that noise ever. It's so funny. Imagine that screaming that you heard coming out of me times whatever number of people were there. It's just like insane. I know I keep using the word insane, but it's literally, it blew my freaking mind to the point that I couldn't even remember the first performance and basically blacked out for like a good 5 minutes. After a while, it didn't even feel like sound anymore. It felt just like as if my eardrums were violently flapping inside of my head. I guess maybe it was stupid of me to expect this, but I thought people were gonna, scream when the songs would start, scream when they end, scream at like key points in the performance, and like, you know, there would always be like somewhat of a background level of screaming. But I thought people would mostly fan chant, because we have fan chants for a reason. And to be honest, before the concert, I kind of thought the whole fan chanting thing was sort of culty. But let me tell you guys, it is not culty. It is necessary, because if more people fan chanted instead of screaming as if they were being stabbed brutally to death the entire duration of the concert, then I would have been able to like hear a lot more stuff, and it wouldn't have felt like my eardrums were having seizures inside of my head. So I think because of that, I really enjoyed these sadder, slower songs more, simply because people were less loud, because they were more calm just from the vibe of the song. Another thing that I think maybe I'm an idiot for expecting this, but I thought people would sit in their seats. Now looking back on it, I have no idea why I thought that. Like, it feels kind of dumb that I even thought that that would happen. A minute before BTS came out, everyone was standing, and they stood the whole time. So, and you know what, that didn't even actually bother me. Like, it felt kind of normal. Like, I was surprised, but then it was like, it was not a big deal to me. If I had to pick a sound effect to describe what I felt like I was hearing coming out of people's mouths collectively for 2 hours, it would be that triggered sound effect, just forever on end. Not fun. Let's go back to the good stuff, okay? Literally in every single YouTube video I watch, they make it seem like getting into the actual concert is this huge chaotic ordeal, and you're probably gonna get like stampeded over.
That is not correct.
I did not experience that at all. Maybe it's because the venue I was at was super tiny and literally in the middle of nowhere. So maybe it was because the venue was small. Maybe it was because I only arrived 45 minutes before and not like 6 hours before. But I literally just arrived. I lined up with my ticket. The line was really not that bad and went by really fast. It wasn't even that long. And then I just showed my ticket, they scanned it, they scanned me and my belongings, make sure people don't have a freaking bomb, and that was it. Then I just went to find my seat, and life was good. It was easy, it was organized, and unless you have like a ticket in the pit, you're probably not about to get run over by anyone, and you're gonna be fine. Another problem, which I think actually came with the fact that this concert was at a smaller venue, is that I feel like the sound system was utter trash. Like, I kind of looked it up, and the other events that seemed to take place at this venue, I don't know what it was called, something where they like show off these big like tractor car things. I don't know. Either way, it didn't seem like the type of venue that was ready to combat the level of screaming which I described to you guys earlier. So I could hear like their voices and what was coming out of the mics pretty well, but the actual like music tracks, I could barely hear it. So in the concert footage that I took with my phone and am putting into this video, you can actually hear the actual music way better than I could hear it in person, like 10 times better than I could hear it in person. I was in shock when I went back to watch the concert videos. I just couldn't believe, like, literally my phone was hearing it way better than I could hear it in person at the moment. So because of that, I would actually suggest, if you're going to a concert of theirs, just film the whole thing, okay? Because I didn't do that. I don't know what got into me. I'm usually not, like, the most bougie person ever, but I just decided, oh my god, I have to live in the moment, and I only filmed certain parts, like my favorite parts, and that's it, and the rest of the time I was hashtag living in the moment and all that bullshit. And let me tell you guys, screw that, okay? Empty your phone, do whatever it takes, film the entire thing, because I am so regretful that I didn't do that, because I didn't know that my phone was going to be hearing everything that was happening way better than I was going to be hearing it. Don't know what the science behind that is, but either way, film the whole thing. It's worth it. I watch the concert videos like every 4 or 5 months anyway, and it's just worth it to have more footage rather than less to look back on. It's really a great memory to have. So good stuff. Being in a huge space filled with like thousands upon thousands of people who are into the same thing as you are is amazing. At this point in time, it was 2018, okay? I only had like one person that I knew of that was also interested in them, and I kind of lost touch with that person because we were elementary school friends that kind of still talked, but we went to different high schools, and I basically was alone in my love for BTS for a good 2.5 years. And then this year recently, 2 of my friends got into them, and so now I am no longer alone on a path of solitude. So I'm actually going to be going to the next concert when this whole coronavirus thing is over with those 2 girls. But yeah, my point is that when you think of going to the concert, you just think of like, wow, oh my god, I'm gonna see BTS, I'm gonna see them perform, this is amazing, holy shit, I'm shitting my pants, wow. And you don't think that it's gonna feel so great to be around all these people that like the same thing as you are, when usually in your day-to-day life, like, it's not necessarily something you can discuss because people will just chalk you up to a crazed fangirl or fanboy or fan them. We're fine. And also the army bombs were all like synchronized, and genuinely, like, I didn't expect it to feel that magical, but the army bombs really like gave this magical feeling to the experience that I didn't expect it would do. The sad part is I didn't have an army bomb because I was like, I paid so much just to be here. And then I was like, this is just a plastic stick with light in it. Like, I don't need that. Lies, okay. I am telling you, it was so pathetic. Like, I was just there being pathetic while everyone else was shaking their army bombs with utter enthusiasm. And it was so sad. Like, I'm telling you guys, the army bomb is part of the experience. So I know you already dropped like so much money and you're probably broke, but it's still worth it to get the army bomb. So I would save up to buy one. So, I mean, the venue I was at was small, right? But despite that, they still used amazing effects and put like on a really great show. The boys' performance skills aside, the effects they used really added to the performance a lot. So one of the things that really stuck with me was Jungkook's performance of Euphoria, because they had these like screens behind him. It looked like this person made out of light particles and was dancing the same dance moves as Jungkook at certain points. And it was just really magical. So I'm definitely going to put that clip. I still remember that vividly. I felt like my heart was like flying when I saw that. It was just really beautiful to see in person. They also had these sparkler or fire things that shot out of the stage sometimes, and they had confetti. But yeah, they really put on a show. Like, I don't know how to explain it. They put on a show, and BTS is so high energy, and I know that it's the only concert I've been to, but I still feel like it would be super difficult to top that. You know, that's what makes BTS BTS. They're just amazing performers, and they're so worth seeing. Even if I'm going through like screaming sound torture, they're still worth seeing. Yeah, so another thing is, if you're going, I would tone down my expectations if I were you regarding like how close BTS are gonna be. Because it's not so much that you'll get the distance wrong in your head, but you'll get how small BTS are wrong in your head, because they're literally the size of you or me, obviously. It's hard to actually envision that because we're always seeing them like on screens up close and everything like that. So I had a great seat. In my opinion, it was a great seat. And still, BTS were like smaller than my freaking pinky. They were so far away and small. And another thing is, the lights are so bright that you won't be able to see their faces unless you're looking at the screens that are being displayed. So you're not gonna actually be able to tell who is who all the time on the actual stage. And you'll be looking at the screens most of the time, which is a little bit sad. Either way, I'm just letting you guys know so that you're aware of it and you're not disappointed when you're actually there, because you're going to be expecting it. Definitely going to a concert is like a perception shaping experience as a fan of theirs. I feel like it really impacted me in that sense. I left there truly realizing that BTS are pretty much just boys. They're just like you or like me. And strangely enough, you would think that I would leave that experience thinking like, whoa, they're so amazing and they're like out of this world. And I did feel that way. But the funny part is I felt that way because I realized that they're not inherently special. You know, you can be talented and genius, and there's plenty of people out there who have the innate skills to perform, but they're not going to necessarily come as far or reach the level of success that BTS has reached. It just speaks a lot to who they are as people, the persistence and perseverance that they need to have in order to actually go anywhere with their talents and passions is out of this world. And it actually reminded me of that scene in the Idol music video where the boys are dancing and then there's this like blown up version of them behind them while they're dancing. We all knew how important that scene was, but after going to the concert, it hit me, the meaning of that scene, because I felt like I was being realistic about everything. I still realized that prior to going to the concert, I was seeing that blown up version of them that's behind them. And sometimes I feel like it's hard to not see that even now, but definitely after going to that concert, I feel like I realized that it's a blown up version. They're literally just regular people that are doing amazing things. That actually left me feeling like they're even more amazing. Even if you have a good head on your shoulders, it's still not really gonna hit you until you see them and they're like minuscule and far and the size of a regular human being right before your eyes. So I definitely left that concert with a lot more appreciation for them. If you actually watched all the way up until this point in the video, then I'm extremely grateful for you. Thank you so much. If you want to see all of the artworks that I've done, please check out my art Instagram at Magenta Dreamer. I'm thinking of maybe changing the name to PurpleGlass, but I'm not sure yet because I'm still attached to the username Magenta Dreamer. Let me know what you think on that. Should I change it? Should I keep it the same? Tell me what you think. Since you've watched all the way until this point, why don't you give my video a like and subscribe? It would mean the world to me. I'm just starting. This is my first YouTube video. I really just want to show people my artwork and talk about things that I'm passionate about, and hoping that there's people out there who will enjoy that. It actually took me forever to make this video because I was learning everything for the first time. So I learned how to actually edit a freaking video for the first time and not like just put things together in Movie Maker or iMovie. It was also a challenge to just relax while I was recording my voice and not sound like I'm doing a freaking school project. If you watched all the way until the end, comment lavender down below. And also please leave any comments about maybe the things that I could work on or things that you especially liked. I would love to know so that I can get better and better at doing this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh my God!